Thank you so much for coming in such a beautiful evening. I have enjoyed my car park duties, but I am Nigel Birch. I'm the commercial manager here at the hospice, and we're so pleased to be able to be offering this amazing trek to Iceland in 2025. We've got a group of 32 people going to Kilimanjaro in the spring of next year. January even. Which is going to be absolutely amazing. And we love putting on these kind of treks. We always make sure we partner with amazing people. So welcome to Ali from Different Travel. And we really want to make sure that the trek suits everybody and it does exactly what we say it's going to do. And that's why choosing our partners is so important, to make sure that actually the experience that you get is really important. So thank you so much for coming. Obviously, I've worked at the hospice for about 2.5 years. I look after a few of the commercial areas, and we are having a tough time, absolutely having a tough time. And your support and hopefully your enjoyment at the same time really does help with our funding, and it's hugely appreciated. So thank you. I will pass over to Ali, who is going to start running through all the procedures.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. Thanks so much, Nigel. So, yeah, I'm Ali from Different Travel. A bit about me. I used to work in a hospice myself until last year, in a similar position to Dawn. I was a challenge community fundraiser. So I've been in Dawn's position, I've been in your position as a fundraiser, because I've trekked the Sahara as a fundraiser as well. So I know how difficult it is to do these things and get signed up and to, can I do it, can I not do it, and to make that decision. So it can be quite difficult. So hopefully I can give you all the information you need to get you to Iceland and have an amazing time out there. You'll discover the land of fire and ice as you spend 3 days trekking through Iceland's ethereal landscapes. You'll explore active volcanoes and lava fields, bubbling mud pools and hot springs, and you'll walk along 2 continental plates, and perhaps you might spot the northern lights as well, but we cannot guarantee that you're going to see them. At the moment, you've probably got more chance of seeing them over here anyway. But there is a chance that you may see the northern lights, but please don't be hooked on that and think, oh, we'll see the northern lights, because we can't guarantee it. Okay, so a little bit of the boring stuff first. Health and safety. So we work really closely with the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and we will never run a trip if it's not safe to do so. A classic example at the moment is unfortunately Morocco, where they've had the earthquake there. But we have got permission, and we've got trips running out there in 3 weeks. I'm actually out on one of those treks next year. So we do work really closely, and if there's ever a thought that there might be some danger, we won't go, we'll just look to postpone it. Okay, but please be assured that we will keep you informed all the way through. We never expect anything to happen, but there is always a small chance, Morocco being a prime example, because you never think anything's going to happen over there, and it did, unfortunately. So, yeah. So, together you'll be on an exclusive fundraising trek, so it's just you guys, it's just your trek, it's exclusive to you guys. It's 3 days trekking through otherworldly landscapes of Iceland. You'll discover active volcanoes and fast lava fields, bubbling mud pools and hot springs. You'll discover the peaks of Mount Hengil heritage sites. And best of all your return flights, your meals, your accommodation is all included. There are no extra costs to pay, unless you want to do a single supplement, you want your own room, and then there'll be an additional charge if you'd like to do that. Okay, so a bit about Iceland. It's a Nordic island sitting in the North Atlantic and Arctic Ocean. Reykjavik is the world's most northerly capital, and it's the heart of Iceland's cultural, economic and governmental activity. A little bit of a zoom in there for you, if you can see that. So we will be hiking to Iceland's youngest volcano, Galgindaldir, and neighbouring Fagradalsfjall. How do I pronounce this properly, do you know?
So it's Galgindaldir, and it's Eyjafjallajökull. Sorry, Eyjafjallajökull.
Thank you. So before exploring the ethereal peaks of Mount Hengel heritage sites, you'll be scaling the impressive, that word, peak,
Can't see it for me.
with spectacular views of Lake Thingvellir, Egyptol and the distant Western Islands. I did tell you I was going to butcher these words and I am so sorry. So just a quick start running through the itinerary for you. So day 1, which is the 12th of March. So we'll travel from the UK to Reykjavik. We don't know which airport that will be yet. That will be decided near in time. 25 is like 2 years away yet. So flight tickets, the times won't even be released at the moment yet. That's usually about 11 months in advance. So but we'll work with Dawn around the airport. That's going to be local to you. So whether that's, could well be Gatwick, could well be that one. But we won't know till nearer the time. So you depart UK from Reykjavik and you're transferred to a hotel on the southern coast of Iceland. So day 2, the 13th of March, you'll travel those places. See what I did there? So today we will drive for an hour along the South Shore Road. Apologies for reading it out, but I'm also aware that at the back you can't see it very well as well, so I don't really like to read word from word from the screen. So we'll drive for an hour along the South Shore Road on the Reykjanes Peninsula, where we will be taking a hike up to one of Iceland's youngest volcano, Gjalldynja, before walking to a neighbouring volcano. Such a good team going on now. And the lava fields. And you'll spend the day hiking in the area and you'll be able to explore the devastating yet beautiful aftermath of recent volcanic eruptions. And on the way back to your hotel, you'll stop at Selton geothermal area and visit the bubbling pools of mud. Oh, sorry, I've got reading glasses on. Fumaroles and hot springs. Fumaroles and hot springs. Okay, and you'll trek approximately 14 kilometres, which is about 6 hours. But again, that will depend on the group pace as well. Okay, it could be slightly quicker, it could be slower. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is also included. So all your meals are included in all the trek, apart from lunch on day 5. You're flying back to the UK anyway. Okay, picture there, there's a couple sitting on some rocks. Pools, mud pools. That was Gjalldynja eruption in 2021, so it's not so long ago. That's only 2 years ago. Okay, so your accommodation. So you'll stay in a hotel or similar for the duration of the trip. It'll be on a twin shed basis, and as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, a single occupancy may be available as well. It's usually on a first come first served basis, and that rate would need to be paid at the time you request that room. Okay, I don't know what that rate is at the moment, but that may be available for an additional charge if you'd like to go solo. So day 3. So after a really good breakfast, the food is amazing out there. You'll drive up to the Mount Hengel area, and from there you'll hike up to that peak, which is about 805 metres. And from the top you'll enjoy views of Lake Thingvellir and that one there to the north, and that word there, and the distant Western Islands. We can send you these slides as well so you can see the words for yourself. So from there we'll hike up to Mount Skeggy, the highest peak in the Hengel Heritage Site. And you'll then return to your hotel for dinner and a jacuzzi. Wow, we don't get many of those on our trips. So you'll trek approximately 13 to 14 kilometres, be about 8 hours. It's a really long day of trekking, okay? And again, it could be quite quicker, it could be slightly slower depending on the group and your capabilities. Your meals. So you'll be provided with plenty of hearty Icelandic meals, which will typically include fish and lamb. But all the food that you'll be provided will be sufficient to keep your energy levels up while you're doing the trek, so you're not going to go hungry. You might want to take additional snacks, and our trekkers usually do, because you'll want something that's a taste of home, something that you're used to. But the food that you'll be provided, it will really be sufficient, and it will really help to keep your energy levels up, because you are going to be trekking some really long days. Okay. And we do request, if you do have any dietary requirements, whether you're lactose intolerant, you're gluten free, please make sure you let us know in advance, because we need to make sure the hotels know ahead of our arrival. Hygiene and toilet facilities was a talking point on our trips. So I'm going to chat with somebody earlier about wild wheeze and never having done one before, they're not quite sure how it works. If you go on one of our trips, you'll find out. But the hotels, they will have ensuite facilities and they do have flushing toilets and hot showers, so you get a nice hot shower every day. If you do need to use the toilet during the trekking day, you need to find a private area off the trail. And you should never leave it's like anywhere, you should never leave used toilet paper, pack it up into a nappy sack, a carry bag, put it in your bag and then you pop it in the bin when you get back to your accommodation. So that's probably pretty common sense really. Bring your own nappy sacks, bring a toilet roll with you as well, okay? So bring one roll of toilet paper for your own use. Okay, that won't be provided for you. And then day 4, you're in Thingvellir National Park to Reykjavik. So it's a short drive which you'll bring into the park where you'll hike along the fault line that divides America and Europe. After the hike, you'll drive to Reykjavik for you have a nice celebration dinner in the evening to celebrate your achievement because you will have done a lot of walking, probably the climbing as well, so you'll probably be tired, you'll be aching, but yeah, it's just a way for us all to gather together to celebrate your achievements and share your stories and any sort of like highlights that you might have come across, any sort of moments that you'd like to share with the group. It's a really nice way for you all to join together. So you'll trek approximately 10 kilometres, which is around about 4 hours, but as before it could be slightly faster, it could be slightly slower depending on the group. Temperatures, so the climate. So typically they're around 4 degrees during the day and they'll drop to around -2 by the night time. But we all know the climate's changing at the moment, so you should be prepared for variations outside of this. Okay. Weather during this should be dry with light winds, but rain is possible. The guides will also assess the situation. They'll make decisions to make sure that you're safe during the trip as well anyway, so the guides are always very well versed. And then the final day you'll be flying back, so it's a free day to explore. Oh no, you're not flying back, that's your free day. It's a free day to explore Reykjavik at your leisure, and there's an optional trip to the Blue Lagoon for additional cost if you wish to do so. I've heard it's amazing. I've never done Iceland, I've never been there myself, but I have heard it's amazing to do that. Then the following day you're flying back to the UK, so after breakfast you'll transfer straight to the airport for your flights home. And you'll get breakfast on that day, so that's the only meal that you'll get on that last day, it will be your breakfast. So our frequently asked questions. So communication coverage can be good in towns, but maybe patchy in rural areas. Wi-Fi is available in the hotels, and we can never guarantee that it's going to be great Wi-Fi. You can never tell when you're with somewhere else. It might not be as good as we get over here, because in some cases it's better than we get over here. Travel insurance, you do need to arrange your own travel insurance. We do have a link to the site, and once you're on booking, you'll be sent that link as well anyway. And they're used to trekking as well, and we use them quite often. They're a good company to go through. It's Campbell Irvine. Footwear trainers are unsuitable. So you must wear proper boots. Age limit, the minimum age is 18. If you're 16 and 17, you can go, but only if you're accompanied by a parent or guardian. And there is no upper age limit. There never is on one of our trips. If you think you've got a medical problem that might cause you some concern, have a chat with your GP first before you sign up. And in some cases, we will ask for a GP letter just to make sure that you are safe to do this trip. But yeah, if you're unsure, just have a chat with your GP first. Will you see the Northern Lights? And as I said at the top of the presentation, we can't guarantee that you'll see the Northern Lights. It's hopeful that you probably will do. It's usually between September and April you can be treated to that site. But I say it's not a guarantee that you will see them. Hopefully you will do though. So how challenging is it? So we've graded this trek as moderately challenging for someone with a really good fitness level. And there's a number of factors which could make the trip challenging. So you will be carrying your own day pack, which will be around 6 to 8 kilograms of the extra clothing that you'll want to put in, snacks, your water that you'll need to carry as well, first aid kit, all these little things that you all add to your weight load. The terrain will be varied. The climate, expect chilly days and cold nights, so that will be a challenge in itself. You'll be trekking distances for 3 consecutive days, so you are trekking quite a long distance over 3 days, and it can be really tiring on your body, so you should make sure that you're really fit on arrival to make so that you can cope with it. Please don't underestimate the importance of training. The more training you do, the more familiar your body will be in recovery after a long day's walking. So you can start each day rested and prepared. So the minute you sign up to the trek, you really should be starting to get out there walking, even though it's 25, but the more that you can do in advance, the more prepared your body's going to be when you're out there. And you must take responsibility for arriving in Iceland as fit as you can be, and only you can take that responsibility for yourself. Okay, some more scenery there. Snow, there we go, got a snow picture. That could be what your accommodation could be like. I say could be because we never know what your accommodation is going to be like until nearer the time when it's all booked. So how should you train? Well, quite simply, you just need to get outside and start walking. If you're not a regular walker, start slowly with short distances and then gradually increase it. I tend to use Sundays as my long walking day. So I'll start with 2 hours and I'll do 2.5 hours and 3 hours and so on until I end up with a full day walking, and then nearer to a trek, I'll spend on weekends back to back doing a Saturday and Sunday for my long distances. So it's a really good way to do your training. Make sure that you wear a backpack. The nearer you get to the trek, make sure you're wearing a backpack with a similar weight. So practice packing what you're going to be carrying for your day pack, and then practice your walking with your backpack on, so then you'll get used to the weights that you're going to be carrying. So other activities that can complement but not replace are hill walking. Do you have many hills around here?
It's
Not great, is it really in our area? So I live in Cambridge, it's quite flat down there.
Yeah, Dunstable Downs go up and down.
Oh, I suppose you've got that quite near, haven't you?
The Peak District's a good training area.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nothing's too high in Iceland.
Yeah.
It's, it'll give you a better idea.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get out to do some hill walking somewhere, it's great. It's great for practice for your legs anyway, to strengthen your legs up. Okay, so other activities will include running if you're a runner. If you're not a runner, you can start if you'd like to, but say running can complement. Cycling, gym workouts, boot camps. Building up your core and leg muscle strength is really important. So exercises such as squats, lunges, push-ups, planks and crunches will really help to enhance your training. And these exercises can be done at home, so there's no need to join a gym. Okay, and you should take your training seriously as well. Please don't leave it to the last minute and think, oh, you've got 2 weeks to go, I can get some training in now, and you're going to cut it. You need to, a good few months before you need to start getting out there and doing some distance walking. Okay, so yeah, so just arrive as fit as you can possibly be, and then you'll get the most out of the challenge as well. So who is right for the challenge? Oh my God, anybody can do this challenge, as long as you're fit. You could be someone who's dedicated to the charity, and I guess you guys all are, because you've all come and you're here to support Women Hospice. Someone who might be starting a new career, a successful businesswoman, someone who loves a bit of luxury and they're looking to sort of just downplay it a bit for a few days, away from the social media and just completely cutting out from the outside world. Dad with grown-up children. So really, it's anybody who can do this trick. So you return flights from the UK to Reykjavik. All transfers and transport in Iceland, your accommodation, your meals as per the itinerary, so it is every meal. English-speaking local guides as well, and you'll have a different travel UK tour manager, so somebody like me. We've got several tour managers who will go out on individual trips. Your trip won't include lunch on day 5. Personal expenses for your drinks, any souvenirs that you might want to buy, any vaccinations. We can't advise on any vaccinations. You must see your own GP about that, so we can't advise. Your travel insurance, tips as well for your guides, and we recommend £50 to £60 per person, and then your own trek kit and equipment that you'll need to purchase in advance if you haven't got anything already. I'll go through this bit, yeah. So your fundraising journey starts here, and we're with you every step of the way. So what support will you get? So we from the company will provide you with a kit list, a full trip dossier, training guide, discount vouchers and more. You'll be accompanied by a first aid trained tour manager and professional local guides. See, I'm expedition first aid trained, so all our tour managers are all expedition first aid trained, so we're all experienced and we're all capable of delivering first aid should it be needed. A pre-departure meeting with your teammates in different travel, so like this is an information evening, somebody, probably me because I'm more local, will come along and we'll do your pre-departure meeting. And then you'll be supported by the team at the hospice as well to help you reach your goal, because fundraising can be quite daunting and you see the target that you need to achieve and you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to raise that much money? But Dawn will take you through that and how to break it down into smaller chunks. Beautiful picture.
So shall I do this bit?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sally. I'll come and stand now. Sorry, I'm straight. Okay, so this is challenging. Okay, people won't sponsor you if it's easy. So make sure you are fit and healthy and have trained, because we've got people in the room that have done Borneo. I'm looking at Russell. We've got people in the room that have done Sahara when it was much hotter than it was meant to be in March. Much hotter, wasn't it? Both of you, yeah. So it's hard, but then that's why you're going to do it, because it's a challenge for you. You might have it on your bucket list. You might want to help Willand Hospice because somebody you've watched go for a massive challenge and are no longer here. You want to give back to this fantastic charity that has made a huge difference. But please don't underestimate it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, sorry, I don't scare anybody.
No,
it's
hard.
I've been
and I
there
want
several
you to
times.
share
It is a challenge. It's an amazing country, and like I know I'm doing a spot in the Northern Lights, so if I do go, I can help you. But yeah, it's an amazing country. It is very challenging. You need to be fit. You need to be ready. It will be cold. It will be windy, but it's amazing as well.
So yeah, thank you. Because we put on things where people go, oh, you're just going on holiday and having a great time. It's not quite as easy to get them sponsored. Okay, you know, if you want to talk about Borneo, oh my God, in a different way. Russell's done that. Sahara, you know, people have all come back. They've all loved it. They're signing up maybe for the next one and maybe the third one. So obviously it's hard, isn't it, Russell? But it is
it's worth
amazing. This will all be Willand people, because this is what we call a closed challenge. So everybody that comes on these dates with us and with different travel, you'll all be in it together. You'll make friends. We set up a WhatsApp group, so hopefully you'll train together. You'll meet up before. My Kilimanjaro trekkers, we've done the climbing wall at Kingston and we're going to go bowling soon. So you've got a long time to build up training, fundraising and getting to know each other, because you're going to be spending a few days with each other in very difficult circumstances, so it might be lovely that you've already met someone and you can help each other. So Willand Hospice, we're in this amazing building and every one of the 15 rooms at our inpatient unit now looks over this beautiful lake. And this cafe area will hopefully be open to the public, if not this year, next year, when we can get enough volunteers to help us fund with the catering team, so we can open Saturdays and Sundays and raise more money. So we do need to raise a lot of money, and we have amazing services that keep us here every day, 365 days of the year, offering them free of charge. And that costs nearly £7 million, and the bit we have to raise is £5.9 million, which is £16,000 every day, which is £11.34 every minute. It's huge, and we need to put on things like this. We need our shops, we need our lottery, we need regular givers to help add up to somewhere near that amount. And every day we'll have our families here and our families at home, and we're looking after them. And if you have been helped by Willand or you'll know someone, you'll appreciate how amazing our team is. I've got Anita, who is one of our Willand at home, who looked after my mother-in-law, and I'm going to get up, but in April. You know, and I really saw what Willand at home did. I knew anyway, but it's the whole family. It's before people pass away, it's after, it's support for when anybody needs it. So Willand at Home, which Anita's part of, there's 19 in the team, there's doctors, nurses, they look after up to 300 people every day, whichever area they need help in. And as it becomes towards the ends of someone's life, it's much more frequent, and they're there for them. And nobody will hopefully be in pain, everyone will have that support. And the family as well. As a family, God, we need so much support from this, guys, because you don't always agree on things in really stressful moments. So never underestimate, it's not just 15 rooms here, which is where some people will come. The average stay here is 14 days. So don't think people come at the last 2 or 3 days. They come, they go, they come back. Some are here for weeks because they suddenly get a bit of a, I'm going to say lease of life, because we feed them and look after them really well. And then obviously their condition is life limiting, so things change, and then at the end they're very peaceful. And that's all we can do, is just give them the best outcome that we can, but we can't change it. 250 staff, oh my God, so that's the clinical team, that's the people in the shops, it's the fundraisers. So without people fundraising like myself and Debs, there is no Will and Hospice, because the money isn't there to allow these teams to do what we do. So if you do join this trek, we'll talk about the money, we'll talk about the cost, but we also need you to raise us a bit of money, because otherwise we're not going to gain from this. So just think of that when you are trying to fundraise. It's not easy, we know that, it's difficult out there, people's bills have gone up, people are struggling. But if we can help you with little ideas, doing lots of things. I've done a quiz, I'm just thinking of your quiz night at the pub. So Libby did a quiz at a local pub, the Old Beams, took all the raffle prizes. I think, was it £300 or £400 or £200-300? £500, because the people there brought up the tickets for the raffle prize and the pub gave back the money that they collected. So we will help with that. There's 3 different options on the fundraisers. So they are on the back of your leaflets. We try and simplify this because it is quite simple. So the 3 options are, so anyone that signs up will pay £385, okay, and that's the registration fee. If you then change your mind further down the line, that isn't refundable. But if we cancel the trip because of the climate, it's not safe to go, then we obviously give that money back. You need at least 10 people for this trip to happen, so that's the only other condition. If we don't have 10 trekkers, then we can't put this trip on. But we've got lots of people interested and lots of people that can't come tonight that we're going to send this presentation to. So if you have to fundraise all of the money, so the cost once you've paid your £385 is £2,050. Okay, so that's all your hotels, your travel, the flights, everything is included. Okay, and that just covers the cost for you going. What we do say is, could you raise that same amount for Will and Hospice? So could you raise £2,050 for us to help us be here every day to care for all of our patients? And if you haven't got £2,050 and the extra one for Will, so £4,100, you've got to fundraise all of that. And that's not easy, but you can do it. I've got people doing Killy that have got to raise £6,000. So I'll meet with you, we'll look at your ideas, we'll talk about quizzes and disco bingo and raffles and bake sales. You might have great connections in a certain area which gives you access, but you can ask your friends and your relatives, but it's not going to add up to £4,000 probably. So be aware, if you do need to fundraise all of it, there's dates that you need to hit certain targets. But at Willand, we can't pay for people to go on this trip if they haven't raised the money, because actually that means we've lost money. So, you know, be aware that that is an option, that you can fundraise all of it. The other end of the scale is you just pay your own costs. So some people are lucky enough to have £2,050 and they can pay the costs when they're due in the December 24, and then they fundraise the other £2,050, which is the Will and Hospice. They might have great connections, they might probably also do events and help raise that money. And the third option, which is the flexi confusion option, so basically you can do a bit of both. So the £2,050 cost, you can pay some of that yourself when it's due, and you can fundraise some of it. So you have an option of doing both, and then we ask you to obviously raise on top of that the £2,050 for us. Does that make sense? It's in the leaflet. Different Travel always do this because it's a way of trying to make it as inclusive for as many people as possible. But you'll see a lot of me, so I'll help you. I'll be there if I can at the raffle and the quiz. You know, we will help you get there. We won't get to the day before it's got to be paid and go, oh, what have you done then? Oh, okay, so you're struggling. So that is a big part of the support we give as Will and Hospice. So on our website, okay, and I'm following this presentation, I'm going to send everyone an email, so I've got all your email addresses. to say thank you, to send you a copy of this presentation, and also on there I'll put the link to the website. But basically you could go on tonight, you're raring to go, you can click on our website and you can book it. It's all there available. So minimum of 10, we can take up to about 40. So, and I've got 80, 90 people that have mentioned that they're interested in it. So you don't have to decide tonight because it's a huge decision, but that's the next steps. If you want a Teams call with me, so my email, say can I have a chat with you, Dawn, then I can book a Teams call next week and we can chat with you individually, what your questions are, how does it work, and then that way you can then make that decision. Don't rush and do this and then 3 weeks later go, oh my God, what have I done? You know, there isn't that pressure at all. You know, that's there. We're talking March 25. We've launched this to give people time to train and to also fundraise. And that's what we have to do with these huge treks and these are.